What's going on YouTube? H-Dub here, and we playing Raid, and this is going to be the first episode of my new debate series. I'm going to be debating your favorite content creators, guys, so let's get into it. What's going on, guys? So today I am joined by my good friend SP Blazin. Now Blazin has been in the Raid community for a while now. He's been putting out a ton of content on his YouTube, so definitely check him out. I'm gonna drop the links to his socials and whatnot below, so you can definitely check out the content he's making. It's valuable content. It's definitely beneficial to players in the community of all levels, so why don't you go ahead and support, drop that man a sub. It doesn't cost you anything but a second of your time. But welcome in, Blazin. Welcome to the channel, man. How you doing?
Good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you on. So today we are going to have ourselves a little debate, and we're gonna be talking about the champs that we think are best in the Bolster set.
Okay, man. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, so obviously Bolster is in the current Forge Pass, so we thought it would be fitting to just kind of break down what champions we thought would be, you know, most beneficial for having this set on them, you know, because a lot of people are going to be getting this Forge Pass or trying to max it out to get what they can. You know, if you don't get the gold, I think you get enough to get like 15 pieces or something like that to craft. So you know, if you're using Bolster, definitely want to know the best champ to use it on. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop it off and say that my number one champ, which is crazy because I don't even have this champion, but I would say the number one champ that I would want to use Bolster on just for, you know, PvP purposes would 100% be a Mountain King, man. Mountain King, I think, is an amazing champion in the Bolster set. A lot of people were using him in shield sets before, just because, you know, he actually has the highest base HP in the game. There's nobody who has a higher base HP at 31k. What do you think?
I agree, man. I think he's a solid pick for that. I mean, Mountain King and a shield set will just, depending with what else you have him built in with the comp, I think will just keep you alive for forever. I think he's definitely a solid pick.
So no counter to that at all.
No, I can't counter that. That was a solid pick there. I mean, it'd be kind of hard, I think, possibly building him in like to do much damage, but because, you know, you don't, when you're looking for Bolster set, you're not looking for crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Well, I mean, he scales off of HP, but yeah, I mean, you'd have to look for like specific pieces of gear to make sure that works properly, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it could definitely work.
Definitely, man. Thanks for your input. All right, so who's your number one?
So my number one is going to be in the same faction, actually, and I think this is the best one to go with, no matter what, is Underpriest Brogni. Shields with him just synergize so well, with his healing from his passive. On top of that, he adds his own shield that's unremovable, so when you start off with that, you know, even if you get like a Leorius that's going to come in and nuke you, it buys you enough time to get your shield back on there. So I think you can't grow the Bolster shield, you can't extend it, but I think Brogni does a great job of like at least getting you prepped up for it, to be able to just have that shield on you the whole time.
Yeah,
compare him with the Mountain King, and that's a solid right there.
Yeah, you know, obviously Underpriest Brogni is probably the best champion in the game to have a Bolster set on. Like I've got two Brognis, and the main one that I use is 100% in a Bolster set. You know, like it's a decent tanky build, high resist, You know, if I switch the masteries, we can get him over 730 resist, and he just tanks it out, man. Right now, I've got Giant Slayer on him just because I use him a lot in PvE in this build. So I actually use him in Hydra and Iron Twins. So he's in my main Iron Twins team. So 100% agree with you, man. He is probably the best champion in the game to have Bolster on. Maybe we got some other people on the list though that are close second. I'm gonna go ahead and set my second legendary, and we're talking about legendary champions here, and we're gonna do something for Blazing's channel as well, where we go over some other champs as well that aren't necessarily legendary. But as far as the Legos are concerned, the next champion I would put in Bolster, and mine's isn't even in Bolster right now. Mine's isn't even fully geared right now. Would have to be a Pythion, just because of his passive, right? So, you know, his allies are receiving 5% less damage from skills for each buff placed on them. And if you can start the round with a buff placed on everybody, you know, you're just bringing so much more to the table with him, right? So Pythion in a Bolster set, definitely going to be solid if you're using him in PvP, which a lot of people are. I know a lot of people are favoring him for Hydra now, and the, you know, free to play people that, you know, went for the fusion or what have you, they're using them everywhere, right? Clan balls, they're using them to do campaign, nightmare campaign, or and everything. So, but as far as PvP is concerned, like in a Bolster set, I think he benefits the most. I have tested this Stone Skin build. I feel like it's a waste of a Stone Skin set. All of the Stone Skin Pythions I pretty much go up against during reset. Like, it doesn't make a huge difference, right? Because if he gets placed on cooldown, he's not gonna cleanse. He's not gonna put up buffs. You're not gonna have other people putting up buffs, and you literally gonna get nothing from his passive. So, you know, how do you feel about it?
So I used my Pythion in Arena, and I think for Arena purposes only, putting him in a Bolster set is a great idea. But for any other PvE content, I don't think so. I think you get more value out of any other set, Relentless or what's it called? Curing. I think Curing set I think is solid for him because of the So I think for Arena purposes, I think you're solid on that. But I think any other content in the game, I'd like to see him like a Curing or a Regen set.
Definitely. When I tested him in Hydra like one time. Go-to set for that would 100% be Relentless or Regen for me. Most of my champs for Hydra are in either Relentless or Regen. But yeah, definitely. Who's number two for you?
So number two for me, I'm gonna have to go with Duchess. I've got two of them. I'm fortunate enough to have two of them. I've got one built in a protection set, and I've got one built in a Bolster set, just super tanky, super fast. I mean, between that, her passive, and if you pair her again with like an Underpriest Brogni, man, you're super tanky there. There's nothing that's gonna come at you that you can't survive. I think she's a solid pick for Bolster.
Definitely, yeah. As far as PvP is concerned, yeah, 100%. I've seen a few Bolster set Duchesses during reset. Unfortunately, I don't have a Duchess, so I can't even test that. I can't even, fully say, yeah, that's 100% the way to go. I think like for overall utility of Duchess, there's obviously a lot more sets that would benefit her in as far as PvE content, right? So say you're using her in Hydra, say you're using her in a Sand Devil 25 comp, or if you're in the early game, you don't have a lot of people to put up buffs yet for a Seer comp, you're gonna use a Duchess, right? So you might want her in Defiant if you're getting Forge Pass. You might want her in Stalwart gear, for Sand Devil and for Hydra, and if say you're using her Iron Twins, you're gonna want those things that just further benefit her passive, decreasing that damage, just because like it's such a crazy passive ability, man. I wish there was some other champions that did something similar to this. Maybe we'll get some in the future, but it's such a unique skill to have. OP, I wish I had one.
I'll tell you what, I got two. I'll trade you one. Just let me know what you want to counter offer with.
It's kind of a rough one.
I got two Brognis.
I do have two Brognis. I had three. I empowered the main one time, just because I didn't want to feel left out. So I was like, let me empower a champion so I can be a part of what the guys are doing. But
I need a Hefrack on my main account, so
I don't have a Hefrack at all. Yeah. I don't have a Hefrack. You see, there's no Hefrack here, man.
Oh man.
No Hefrack, no Mortu, no Candrafon. Like I'm missing.
You didn't go for the guaranteed?
No, I haven't, dude. I don't think I've ever had enough shards to go for a guarantee, man. But let's move into number 3. Number 3 for me is going to be Krisk, another champion that I do not have. But as far as PvP is concerned, you don't see too many Krisks in PvP anymore. You don't see a whole lot of them, but obviously you still see them. Like in Gold 5, you're gonna see a ton of Krisk, like, cause the guys who are working their way up, the guys who are trying to stay in Gold 5 are 100% using Krisk if they have him. But I don't have a Krisk at all, man. Kind of wish I did, but only reason I would throw him in Bolster set for that is because he's gonna go ahead and throw that shield on himself at the start of the round, and you automatically are gonna be starting the match with stacked shields, right? So you don't have to bring a second champ to put up a shield to stack your shield. You got a Krisk coming in automatically stacking shields. I feel like that is a crazy combination right there for damage mitigation, especially if you have someone like a Duchess or a Pythion who's also in there. And yeah, the possibilities are astronomical.
I think so. I have mine built in like Defiant set because I use them for Hydra, and I think both set. If you're going to use them against like a blender comp or some heavy AOE damage dealer for arena, I think it's solid. But again, I think it's only going to work for arena. It's not going to work for anything else.
Definitely. I think your video froze there for a second, but the audio was good though. But yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know. It might be something on my end, man. It might be something on my end. I need to work out some things with my settings. The whole collab thing is still new to me, guys. So bear with me. I'm trying to really make this happen. Don't blame him, blame me. But yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said, man. I don't think there's much debate about Krisk and Bolster, other than obviously PvE, and that's gonna go for every champion, right? That you're using a Bolster set on. It's going to 100% benefit you a lot more in PvP than it is PvE. So it can be argued for anyone.
Yeah, and especially on the legendary side, I mean, you're talking more end game content, players that have been around for a while. I think those sets are going to benefit the end game players there for arena, but like I don't think new players that are coming in are going to be able, unless you get like super lucky, like Lockers did, and YOLO one shot and pull a twist.
Right,
right. Especially if you're free to play, I think that's going to be a little more difficult. But yeah. So my third, it was kind of hard. I mean, I've been going and looking at the list, and I'm gonna actually go with Popcorn Smash Lord.
Really,
right?
Smash Lord.
Yeah, I mean, he's got super high HP, right? And if you build him with high enough resist, that shield will last. He'll come in with a cleanse,
Oh, excuse me,
and
sorry.
he'll come in with a cleanse and heal you up. And I think he'll give you a good shot at surviving.
Yeah, that's true. How's
You
his
know,
how are his multipliers?
I mean, he doesn't hit that hard. I think, I actually just did a collab with Jay where we were talking about guaranteed champs, and he was one of my champs that I figured, or that I said should be a guarantee. But I'd like to see his A3 rework instead of doing damage to just a heal, a pure heal, no damage, because I mean he has HP base and he's got a solid HP, but I don't think he does much damage, if any at all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think he's a solid pick right there.
Yeah, definitely. Mine is in Relentless just because of like the cooldown on his cleanse. So I've never used him in PvP actually. I use him mostly against, the Nether Spider. And I use him in Relentless just because like this is on a 4-turn cooldown, like even book. Like as you can see, I haven't even put books into him really, just because I felt like I didn't really need it much. Obviously, you can book the heal up a little more. It's gonna give you, extra 20% heal, which can be crazy, but you don't necessarily need it because the boss is putting so many debuffs on you and it heals based on the amount of debuffs cleansed that like you're going back to full HP anyway. So
Yeah.
felt like
I think he needs a little more love. I think he needs to be, a little bit of a rework, especially like I said, I think his A3 just doesn't make sense for me. I
yeah.
think he just needs to be a pure support. Give him a heal, give him a cleanse, give him a revive. Actually, I think that would be great.
Mm.
And I think you'll see him popping off in arena a lot more.
Yeah, if he had a revive, oh man, he would be actually crazy. If this A3 was a revive with the cleanse, block debuffs, and heal based on the amount of debuffs, stun on the A1,
Yeah.
book to a 55% chance. That actually would be interesting. Interesting champ.
Yeah. I think it'd be great if he just had a revive or like a stronger heal on the A3. The A3 is just garbage. That's why he doesn't get. And most people actually build him in like a either stone skin or immunity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excuse me. Well, I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick, man. I think my next champ, he's a demon spawn. It's gonna be Vassal. Vassal of the Seal, right? So this guy is, I feel like, so overlooked. People, aren't gonna invest in him. They don't want to invest in Doom Tower champs, right? But I feel like his kit is pretty good, and I think that he would be a great champion in the Bolster set, just because of, his passive, right? He's already receiving 20% less damage from Banner Lords, High Elves, and Sacred Order champions, right? So that means like Taraz, Marishka comps, anybody using Baron, right? And all those other like meta champs that we currently have, right, in arena meta currently. He's gonna be receiving less damage. Now the interesting thing about this is it is single target. If it was AoE, right, if this was an AoE ability where your entire team was receiving less damage from Banner Lord, what have you, it would actually be OP even with the rest of his kit. Like his A3 is a HP rebalance, right, where someone on your team has full HP, he's just gonna put everybody back at full HP, right? Then he's gonna grant an extra turn, True Fear, and decrease attack on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% booked on the A2, and the A1 places HP burn for 2 turns if they're under True Fear and decrease attack. And he's gonna put a shield on himself, and he's HP based, so you can build him with high HP. His base HP is not amazing, Pretty sure there are epics that have similar base HP to him. But he's I think he's a decent champion for sure. Real low base defense. But I think he's a decent champion for sure. He doesn't get a lot of love, but in the right comp, I feel like he could do a lot. Especially like if you have him in a comp with, say, you know, a Candra phone or somebody, right? Duchess Candra phone now. Obviously, this can be countered very easily with like a Harima team, but you know, because Harima's gonna come in and completely rip this comp apart, because she's just gonna keep you provoked, and like you won't be able to do
even if
damage.
she does that though, you have the shield on the A1. So
You do have the shield on the A1, but you'll be weak hitting the entire time trying to kill her, because demon spawn champions can't land strong hits against her.
Ooh.
So you'll probably never kill her. So you know, there's the downside of that. But if you were using him on offense, you know, against like Baron teams, he's gonna do great. Against Taras, he's gonna do great. I don't offhand. I'm trying to remember any like high elves or sacred order that we might actually see in arena. That
Ethos might be the closest one, but that's it. You do have
Cupidus.
What's it called? Cupidus, yeah.
So Cupidus as well. He'll be receiving less damage from Cupidus, which could also be beneficial. But I think there's some possibilities with him, especially if they buff him, make this passive AOE. I think he'll be a lot more viable, man. But that's my fourth pick there.
Okay. I actually just pulled him last CVC, and honestly, I just vaulted him. I haven't even done anything with him, but I think next CVC I might build him, and we might be doing a showcase on him.
Yeah. Definitely.
So for my, what are we, fourth now?
Yep.
Fourth. So my fourth, I'm gonna go with somebody that everybody recently got, which is Ultimate Death Knight. I know that the builds that most endgame players use are in a stone skin set. But I think early game, like when you get him, you know, for the new players that come in, if they just get even like the low level forge pass that they have, the free one, and put him in a bolster set, just super high HP, you can get your ultimate K to hit 80, 90k HP. I think mine's sitting at like 95 right now. And I mean, if I had a second one, I'd build him in a bolster set 100%.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely solid. You know, you give him a little bit of accuracy. Like, you don't need much too. You need like 200 accuracy. And I think he's going to, between his passive and if you make him really slow, that shield's going to stay on for 3 turns. So it's a solid build for him, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I actually did test mine
again.
Oh, it did? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Alright, cool.
I think my video might have just cut out.
Oh, it's alright. I can edit all of this. But yeah, I actually did. I tested my UDK in Bolster for a bit when my stone skin was limited. So obviously I had him in a stone skin build at first, but I did test him in Bolster for a while because I wanted to put stone skin on someone else and test him. So I definitely think he could be a very formidable champion in Bolster.
Yeah. I mean, because most people, when they come in and they look at your ultimate DK, they're going to come in and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to bomb the team. But bombs are actually, shields are a great way to counter bombs. And, you know, I think people are caught off guard with it because they'll come in, they'll use their bomb, they'll be like, oh, okay, I got this. And then all of a sudden, oh, crap, they're in a shield set. Like, you know, you just get thrown off. So,
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Okay, and then on to the last champion that we would use in Bolster. I think number 5 for me. I'm gonna go with Coronar, man.
Okay.
Coronar, who, you know, I have to, take this from you. You know, as we were discussing this beforehand, I hadn't even fully thought about it, but I think he would be a solid champion. You convinced me, so maybe we don't even have to fully talk about it because we already debated. you definitely convinced me just because of, his entire kit. Right? He's just gonna, he doesn't have to be fast at all, right? He can come in, he can be in bolster slow and just be counterattacking. Granted, Manaya is on the team or what have you, decreasing the turn meter there as well. And obviously he has the provoke on his A2 and the rest of his kit.
I would build him the same way you build your ultimate DK, just really slow, super tanky, high HP, throw as much accuracy. You don't really care about getting like your Duchess or your Arbiter to be, taunted, but you want the damage dealers to just keep going after him. And as long as he's got that big meaty shield, gives you plenty of time to take everybody else down.
Yeah, definitely. He also has like, if I remember correctly, he has like the 3rd highest HP, base HP in the game at like 27,000. So like only people in front of him is Mountain King and what's his name? Skull Lord, actually.
Lord Bogo, yeah.
Yeah, Skull Lord. So, definitely a great champ to have in Bolster because it means you can reach some ridiculous numbers with that set as far as like how fat the shield is gonna be. But that's my 5th pick, man. What you got?
So my 5th pick is actually going to be Necrit, and it's not one of the most common sets you use on him. Most people will either use like a stone skin or a protection. Mm-hmm. But if you build him really, really slow, again, like your ultimate Death Knight or your Coronar, he's going to provide that huge shield. And on top of that, with his passive, every time somebody attacks whoever he's protecting is going to get an extra shield on top of that. So I think he's a solid pick for that. It might not be like the best set for him, but if I had him, I'd probably build him in a bolster set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think definitely, he's just one of those champions that is going to be stalling out the offense a ton. And, bolster is a great way to do that. His kit is already ridiculous, so... yeah, no arguments there. I feel like Necrit in any set, like you could bring him into the arena naked and he's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, he's awesome. I keep pulling for him any 10x they have. I'm just like I only go for voids now. Like there's no non-legendary. There's no legendary that's a non-void that would benefit me at this point.
Yeah. I would love to have a Necrit, man. I still don't have it myself, but yeah, man, this was fun. It was great to look at some champs that are going to benefit from Bolster, especially because we, like we said earlier, we got the set going on from the Forge Pass, and if you haven't gotten the Forge Pass yet, we're going to be giving away a Forge Pass. We know last month Blazin helped us out. He gave away 2 Forge Passes, guys. I don't know, maybe Blazer wants to give another one away for you guys. You're going to have to check out his channel, though, to find that out. And make sure you subscribe to his channel as well and show him a lot of love. But, Blazer, anything you want to say to the folks before we get off?
Just, guys, be ready. We've got lots of stuff planned up for the content creator games. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun watching everybody working with all your content creators out there trying to build teams and stuff. We had fun doing the clan boss challenge, and like I said, just wait and see what we got planned coming up.
Yeah, man. We definitely got some things in the works, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for watching. As always, we hope we brought you some insightful information. Hopefully this conversation was beneficial to you all. But until next time, guys, be good and be well. Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I am joined by my good friend. We're gonna keep that.